Alrighty, welcome back to High on the Hog. I'm your host, Sawyer Dillinger, alongside my dad, co-host John Dillinger.
And
We got another
we got
one.
a good show for you today.
As usual, every week we do, but this one especially, it's rivalry week.
Yes,
It's
it
hate
is.
week in the state of Arkansas. We don't like them Tigers too much.
No, this to me, the Arkansas LSU rivalry is what I always felt like was the best, our best rivalry in the SEC prior to Texas coming into the league. We got to play them every year. Where we didn't, I do enjoy the Arkansas-Tennessee game, although it's not really a long-standing rivalry. There has been some great, instances in that matchup throughout the years, like the Sterner Stumble and things of that nature. That's been memorable, and us going up there and wrecking their seasons and things of that nature. But
Why are you bringing up Sterner Stumble, man? He's trying to get over it.
Arkansas LSU. Well, he tripped on the offensive lineman's foot. It really wasn't his fault. Arkansas LSU. It was up until I guess Texas A&M come into the league, was always the Friday night after Thanksgiving, and from the Miracle on Markham to just classic after classic, this has been, I feel like, Arkansas's best rivalry game in SEC.
I agree with you on that. I think a lot of people would. It doesn't matter who's ranked. It doesn't matter. Each team could be 0-12. The other team could be 12-0. You will not know who's winning the football game.
No, it's always close. I mean, you say always.
Most of the time.
The majority of the time, it's close. I think in the series, Arkansas has the biggest blowout, which was 51-0. And I think LSU's biggest victory was like 56-20.
Yeah.
So Arkansas owns the biggest blowout there, but LSU's beat us, about 2-1.
Yeah.
It's like 40-something to 20-something. Very close. Now, since 1992, when Arkansas come into the SEC, it's been pretty competitive. I think you got the stats on that. It's like 19 or it's like 21-11 or 20-10 or something like that.
What?
Since since the rivalry was renewed.
No, I'm not too sure on that.
But it's close. But it's typically LSU wins 2, Arkansas wins 1.
Yeah.
But every game is close,
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Tigers come into this game at Fayetteville 5-1 with wins over nobody and a tough loss to an atrocious 3-3 University of Southern California team. Hogs by 90. Thank y'all. God bless and go Hogs.
All right.
That's it. Now, LSU, they lead the series all time 44-23. That's really all we had to say. 44-23 and 2 ties with a current 2-game win streak against the Hogs. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game this week.
Yeah, I do too. I think we match up pretty good with them. They're not really trying to run the ball this year.
They don't need to.
They've got a dynamic passing game. And at the start of the season, it looked like maybe Arkansas secondary was maybe the weaker part. But, going up against Tennessee, LSU and Tennessee have very similar offensive philosophies. And we was able to stymie them, So I like the matchup. I really do. They're top 10 in the country. I love this first time in Razorback history we've had back-to-back top 10 programs at home. So for the first time in a long time, the schedule kind of turned out in our favor a little bit to help us. It usually don't. It's usually murderer's row, and it's a tough schedule, but we're getting a lot of the top 10 teams at home.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing for the Hogs.
And assuming Texas can hold it, we'll have had 3 top 10 teams at our stadium in the same season, which I've not heard of.
Who's Texas playing this week?
They played Oklahoma last week, so I believe
They playing Georgia?
I think it's Georgia.
Pull up that schedule. There's a lot of good games this week. Isn't this Tennessee-Alabama week?
I believe so.
The third Saturday
in October.
I
Yeah.
think is what they always say. Who do you think's gonna? We didn't do. Life got a little busy for us this week, and so we wasn't able to come back and do our kind of reaction to our picks and all that. Did you ever look and see who won between me and you?
I think it was you. I was going to say before we get into this game, we need to do that. I think it was you.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
Because Texas beat Oklahoma. We both had Oklahoma beating Texas.
Right.
But Alabama just barely won you that.
That was a good game. I was hoping you'd been right on that. I was pulling for you.
I almost was. I got close.
Yeah, there was another one we were off on, and I got it, and I think that's what put me over.
Yeah, they're playing Georgia.
All right, so
that'll be
where's the schedule at?
Right
you
here.
Just pulled up Texas.
Yeah.
So Texas, Georgia this week. Yeah, pull up the SEC. Let's just look over it real quick.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, like you said, we had a busy week last week, so we didn't get around to doing our reaction. And but are we gonna do it?
Let's pick them.
Let's do it again. All right. Go ahead. Take it away.
Auburn, Missouri. That's one. I would kind of like to see Auburn win that game.
I would too. I would really like to see it.
So, but Auburn's not very good this year. Where's it at?
What do you mean? If Auburn played us 9 more times, Auburn's winning every one of those times.
Smoking something too. So it's at Columbia.
Yeah.
11 a.m. I think I'm going to take Auburn. I think I'm going to take them for the upset. Yeah.
Ain't nothing like an 11 a.m. kickoff in Columbia, Dad. Are you sure? I mean, that's a rowdy, raucous crowd.
That crowd is not rowdy and raucous. We've been there many times. It's a decent crowd, but they've got to be winning for that crowd to be up. If their team is not doing very good, you can hear whispers in that stadium.
It's pretty rough.
We were very obnoxious one year, hollering, and you could hear it. It was echoing off the other side.
Yeah.
South Carolina. Are you going to pick? I'll pick and then you pick.
All right.
Auburn, Missouri.
I mean, I'm going to pick Missouri. Auburn is really bad. I think
that's probably the safer pick, but I'm just going to pick Auburn.
I like it. I hope Missouri loses because that means we got a pretty good chance to beat them too. So.
Well, I think we got a good chance to beat
either
them
way. Yeah. All right. South Carolina at Oklahoma. 11:45.
Oklahoma to win another ball game this year. They let me down in the Texas game. Stunk it up. Give me South Carolina.
Give me South Carolina too. South Carolina looked good against Alabama, which Alabama's not. I don't know. Alabama's not that good. But South Carolina, I do have Oklahoma being a pretty rough team this year. Like I said, if you find my TikTok comments, I commented on all the SEC schedule saying Oklahoma was going to be really bad this year and Alabama too, and I was right on both of those.
Let's skip Alabama and Tennessee and do them last.
That's the college game day, I'm sure.
All right, so we got
A&M at Mississippi State.
Ooh, that's going to be A&M.
Yeah, give me A&M for that as well. Ball State at Vanderbilt.
Y'all give me them Commodores,
baby. Them Commodores.
What are they going to be
high on the doors, baby.
After they beat Ball State.
They have the same record as us right now. They're 3-2 or 4-2.
We're 4-2.
They're 4-2, yeah.
I'm
talking about
5-2. If they can handle their business, that'd be awful for them to have such a good season
and then
going
start losing to
lose
those
to some no-neck school.
No, they're going to blow them out.
Come on, Vandy. We're pulling for you this year. Hog fans are. I think everybody. In the SEC
they are America's
fans,
sweetheart right now,
unless you're playing them. You know, but all the SEC teams that don't have to play Vanderbilt, for sure, is pulling for them.
Looking at the lines on the week, they have the biggest margin.
They're 26.
They're 26.5 point favorites.
That's not good, but
I
think Vandy wins easily there.
Hammer the line. I've got them beating them by 28 points, honestly. All right, Georgia, Texas. That's man. What?
That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a big game,
but not a big rivalry because they don't have a lot of history.
No. This is a good week for college football. These are some good games.
Here's the thing.
Yep.
I want Texas to be number one in the nation.
I don't want them to win a game, though.
I know it. That's the hard thing. With Texas, they could probably lose 3 in a row and still stay number one.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But I want them to stay number one and then come in Arkansas and let us just totally wreck their parade again.
I want to see that look on Steve Sarkisian's face every time we play him. You know,
Here's the deal.
he looked like he didn't know what to do in that football game.
Georgia's not looked real impressive.
They've not looked like
to
Georgia.
Alabama, but they were close in a couple of their other games too. Kentucky took them to the wire. You know, who'd they play last week? Was it South Carolina?
That was Bama.
That was Bama. Anyways, they've had a couple of other close games too. So they're not real, as impressive. Mississippi State actually, 41-31.
Yeah. Mississippi State, worst team in the SEC, hung 31 on them.
Yeah. So I think Texas, it's at Texas. It's prime time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Kirby I think Kirby's a better coach than Sarkisian.
Mm-hmm.
But Kirby's he's losing it. Did you see him attack the Mississippi State quarterback?
Yeah. That was pretty wild. I don't know if it was on purpose or not.
It was on purpose. I don't think he was like, let me hurt this boy, but he clearly saw.
Yeah.
He was mad that his defense was playing so bad, and he was mad that quarterback was playing so good, and he shoved him, and he should have been suspended for it.
Yeah, that's what an interesting thing to do. I don't know. Texas holds the line with the 5-point favorite. Give me Texas. I would not be surprised at all if we're wrong on this. I would not be surprised for Georgia to go in there
and flip of a coin kind of
and take that one over. But like I said, I want Texas to be number one, but I also don't want to say I hope Texas wins. So, but yeah, give me Texas on that. Kentucky, Florida, big rivalry game right here. One of the biggest in the SEC.
Actually, I do think they have somewhat of a reasonable rivalry.
I guess those are two pretty low programs. I mean,
bottom dwellers.
Yeah, bottom dwellers.
SEC East.
You might as well.
Gainesville.
Yeah, 6:45.
UK is actually favored.
Holy cow!
I think Kentucky should win. Wouldn't be surprised if Florida did win, but I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
I was going to go with the Wildcats too, because Florida's bad this year. But I'm going to pick Florida. They've got them at home, 6:45. That's a good time.
That may be the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
between me and you.
I think that we can't choose the same games every time. I'm going to take Florida. Somebody's got to upset somebody. Give me Florida to do it.
I think it's a good one to pick on an upset. That's kind of why I did Auburn over Missouri. You know.
So, do you want to do Bama, Tennessee, or LSU, Arkansas?
No, we're going to do LSU, Arkansas last.
Okay.
So, all right. So, Alabama at
Neyland Stadium.
Rocky Top. It's 2:30 game. It's a hard one to pick. If Nick Saban was on that sideline,
it would be easy. Yeah.
But Kalen DeBoer is not Nick Saban. He's
No.
proven that. There's nothing about him that is similar to Nick Saban. Have you seen any of his post-game press conferences?
No.
After the loss, after barely beating South Carolina, he's just all green. He's tickled. To
I noticed him on the
Alabama.
sideline, but I haven't seen any of his. Is he that happy-go-lucky?
He's not Nick Saban. He is so much
Polar
the
opposite.
antithesis of Nick Saban. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach. He's been good everywhere he's ever been.
Led Washington to a national championship contention. I mean, it's pretty
they lost.
impressive. Pretty bad too, but
But it's just odd seeing, when you see one guy roaming that sideline for 16 years or whatever it was, and to see him, Nick Saban's up 42 points in a game with 10 seconds left and screaming at his defense for allowing, and then Kalen DeBoer's losing to who beat him? Georgia?
Vanderbilt.
No, Vanderbilt. Losing to Vanderbilt and grinning.
It's so
after the
impossible
game.
to believe you can't even remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
matter of fact,
you tell I put a lot of thought into this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I
I think this one's an easy one to decide for me. So
if you know who you're going to pick, and then
Tennessee. Give me Rocky Top every time. I think it's not going to be close. And I watch Alabama's TikTok, or I watch SEC TikToks. Everybody's picking Alabama. They're like they're going to win this easy. Alabama couldn't beat Little Sisters Tennessee. Couldn't beat the the backup program in Tennessee, and Tennessee's a really good team this year.
Who do you
Give me
want-
Tennessee.
Who do you want to win
Tennessee.
the game?
Listen, I grew up in Tennessee, and like we've said plenty of times, all our friends were there. I've got no bad blood for Tennessee. I honestly, I pull for. They're my second team. I pull for them every year unless we play them. Seeing Tennessee good does not hurt my feelings none like seeing Tennessee or Texas or LSU or all freaking miss. Didn't be good. Makes me mad.
I got several calls from some of my friends over our Tennessee podcast. They didn't like the volunteers comment that you made. They didn't like us picking Arkansas, although that proved to be genius.
Pretty good pick, right?
But I'm gonna go with Bama here, just to be opposite of you, so that there can be some difference. And I wouldn't mind seeing Alabama lose, just because I'd kind of like to see Alabama maybe drop 3 or 4 this year.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kalen DeBoer out the door in 2 years, just because of how.
I don't. I hope they keep him for a long time.
But they were so home run on him.
3 games every year. Yeah, never gets back to the championship game.
They were so head on that this is it's DeBear, DeBoer, and gonna do it over and over again.
Legend on the Paul Feinbaum show. He's one of the callers, and he's obnoxious, which most of the callers on that show are. But he does this wrestling. He tries to do like a Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes promo every time he calls in, and he was big on DeBoer. DeBoer's gonna, and he's not singing DeBoer's praises anymore. He's ready to get. They're wanting to hire Sick Naben to come back and be the coach. Try to lure him out of. But anyways, give me Bama. And in the not upset, but 3-point favorite there. Give me Bama.
Which is crazy to see that they're the favorites when Alabama's not playing up to par. But, I mean, guys, come on. It's Rocky Top. It's Neyland Stadium. It's 2:30 on ABC. More than likely college game day. One of the biggest games. Actually, it'll probably be at Texas, Georgia, wouldn't you think?
They've already picked, and I'm not sure where it's at. I was thinking,
we look up everything on this show.
I was thinking SEC Nation is at Bama, Tennessee. Although, to me, if I was going to be somewhere, I'd be there.
Yeah. Texas, Georgia is actually, now that I'm looking at it, probably what they're going to go with. It doesn't say. Or I guess that's Texas flag. This one's going to be big. Yeah. So they'll be at the Georgia-Texas game, which makes sense. Number 1 and number 5.
Okay, yeah. So I think SEC Nation's probably
they'll probably bring out
Alabama.
Kirk Herbstreit out there, or no, he'd have to be at college game day. I lied. I'm talking out my junk. But Tennessee, give me them. They're gonna beat Bama.
All right. So before we pick at Arkansas games or anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into whatever notes we had. Arkansas is coming off a bye week. They've rested after what was the most exciting game, or one of the most exciting games that they've had this decade. Feeling themselves and the hype the program's building in its own fan base, because the Hog Nation's been pretty down on Pittman in the offseason, and I've liked him the whole time. I wanted him to win because I like the guy, but they're building back the confidence. Meanwhile, LSU's coming off a 29-26 win against the Ole Miss Rebels in what was a field stormer for LSU.
I was shocked when they stormed the field.
You know how terrible of a spot your program's got to be in to rush the field at an Ole Miss team?
Mississippi State would storm the field over beating
They're not
Ole
taking
Miss.
They can't afford to take a fine in the.
They're not nobody rushing the field there. They're like, we have to shut this program down.
We gotta stop if we do. Yeah, they're not. Nobody's rushing the field for an Ole Miss.
Right.
And I've seen comments.
I was shocked.
It really was.
I thought
like
LSU. Of course, we stormed the field playing. When we beat Tennessee.
Tennessee's a good program, though.
But Tennessee's much higher than Ole Miss in a historical program sense, and LSU's higher than Arkansas. I thought they held themselves to kind of a higher standard. I could see it if they beat Georgia or maybe even Texas or Alabama, I could see LSU fans storming the field.
Yeah.
I was shocked when they stormed it against Ole Miss.
I mean, 2019, you win a national championship. 2024, you're storming the field for a team that's not been to a national championship in 60 years or however long.
We can't believe we beat Ole Miss.
That's
Lane
crazy. But yeah, that's just wild to me. However, stats from the Ole Miss game: junior quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, he's looking pretty good.
He's a good quarterback. Brian Kelly, he kind of compared him to Joe Burrow the other day. I thought
that's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, let's chill out a little bit there. Yeah, 22 for 51. That's a lot of passes, but not a lot of completions.
Yeah.
337 yards though, 3 touchdowns. Here's what I seen.
If he throws 51 times against Arkansas, there's going to be a couple of pick sixes.
Exactly.
He ain't throwing that much on us.
I noticed that 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions against an Ole Miss defense who's not bad, but not the best defense in the SEC. And so I thought that's pretty. I like to see that. You know, Garrett Nussmeier, he's a good quarterback, but Arkansas's got a good defense and a good pass defense. Matter of fact, I think
LSU didn't have a running back rush for more than 37 yards.
I noticed that. Caden Durham, 12 carries for 37 yards.
Brian Kelly is a Yankee. Now, I guess Les Miles was a Yankee too. But, you know, Ed Orgeron, Nick Saban, even Les Miles, they had stud running backs. And I just can't believe, you know, Brian Kelly doesn't have a guy there that he can hand the ball off to and get you 100 yards a game.
Yeah. LSU's they've put some great running backs in the league too. I think Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb, they could be from
Nick
Michigan.
Chubb was from Georgia.
I really have no idea. But Joe Mixon, I do believe
Jacob Hester not too long ago, wasn't he a running back?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they've had golly, if you hadn't started naming them,
they've had some great.
I was thinking of their running backs earlier today. I mean, they've got some stud guys. You know, was Marcus Falk? Was he LSU? There was I don't know.
They've had some really great ones.
They've had some good ones.
Yeah.
But now they've had some amazing wide receivers, and it looks like they've got a good wide receiver core this year, too.
Yeah, Kyron Lacey, 5 receptions, 111 yards.
Beckham?
That's what I was going to say. Odell Beckham. I mean, he's not good anymore. He's been pretty bad the past couple years. And he was good a couple years ago, but he's had a pretty rough. He went to the top, he got that big head, and now he got them small hands because he can't catch nothing. Aaron Anderson, 3 catches, 81 yards, a touchdown. So pretty good receivers there.
Before I forget about it, I would just want to give a shout out to bragging rights. Our football. What's it called?
Anyways,
fantasy football.
We ain't got to worry about that.
I'm number 1. And where are you at?
I think number 2.
You're in a tie for dead last.
I
with
think
my
number 2.
Other 2 sons. I'm ashamed to be y'all's father.
Listen, I can't help that I drafted Christian McCaffrey first and Puka Nacua second.
Look here.
And I have not got to play them once.
Look here. Timmy Chimichanga, he's watching. They brought these old men in this fantasy league thinking they was going to get some scrubs they could run all over. And me and Tim's tied at the top. With somebody else, I think that one of the other new guys, the youngest guy, I think in the whole league,
Tillman,
JT, yeah, he's in there. So
yeah, well, hey, I mean, tough talk for the start of the season.
3-way tie for last place.
Well, I mean, hey, keep your money where your mouth is, because once Christian McCaffrey gets activated and I run the rest of the year,
you waiting on one guy,
waiting on 2,
waiting on Batman to come back. Huh?
Listen, he's the Great White Hope, as they call him.
Let's get down to our pick.
All righty. Rankings defensively, Arkansas ranks 34th in total defense. LSU ranks 77th.
I'm hoping that.
Yeah, I like that. I like seeing that. Russian defense, Arkansas is 28th. LSU set 53rd in the country.
We're finna run all over them.
Here's what blew my mind. Passing defense, LSU ranks 101st.
That's not good.
That's not good. There's 135 teams in college football or something like that. And so 75th in chunk plays allowed too, so there's plays to be made. Having that bad of a defense against the best offensive coordinator in college football, I've got pretty good hope for the Hogs to get some stuff going on offense. I want to see from this game, I want to see Arkansas go back to being a dominating running team, because we have had a pretty lackluster past 2 games running the ball, and that's pretty sad to see, because Jaquindon Jackson's a stud of a running back. So I'd like to see us go over 200 rushing yards this game, and a couple of touchdowns. I want to see Braylon Russell get some more carries, just because I really like that homegrown, cornbread-fed running back. That's a big boy.
Was there some talk of Braylon Russell getting a agent or something this week? Was that him or was that somebody else?
I've not heard any of the. Is he trying to get money from us or something?
Yeah, I think he's wanting to. I think he might have hired an NIL. It may not have been him. I couldn't. I was like, did he say Braylon Russell? Did he say Jalen Braxton? Who was he talking about? I don't even remember what podcast it was on, but. Might not even been a podcast. Might have been something else. But
as long as it's reasonable, I don't care about paying him.
I like that dude. He does need to get paid.
He's
but
good.
I hope he's not. I hope he's focused on LSU Tigers and not dollars and cents right now.
Yeah, because it's not going to help anybody. Coming into this game, LSU's got a very good passing attack starting at the helm. Playing his best football right now. It's pivotal that Coach T. Will gets a good strategy going.
I think he will.
To get some pressure in, take away the throw early. Arkansas's got a great chance of winning this football game if it comes down to a rushing attack, because as you can see, they're not producing. Force a turnover too, that'd be great. Give me Arkansas in double overtime, 35-28.
Oh my goodness. You picked my score. I wasn't picking double overtime, although it wouldn't be a surprise if this game went to
many
overtime.
overtimes in the rivalry here.
Overtimes, and I like Arkansas in overtime. Arkansas has a good history in overtime.
Really good history.
If it goes overtime, I feel good. I think it's going to be, here's the deal. If Taylor Green is mobile, I think Arkansas wins. If Taylor Green is not mobile, then I think it's going to be a close game, and it would probably go LSU's way. But I think Taylor Green's going to be fine. I think he's going to have a great game. I think he's going to be able to run. I think he's going to be able to pass. And I'm picking the Hogs 35-28 in regulation.
In regulation. Okay, so we got the same score, 35-28. That's just a touchdown round. That's a touchdown. Yep. Yeah, okay. So 35-28. I really hope to see an overtime game, just because I like watching overtime games anyways, but like you said, Arkansas is pretty good in overtime. I don't
care how many overtimes it goes to.
We can do another 7 if we need to, as long as we get there and get the result we want. I don't think
you'll ever see another 7 overtime game. I think the whole going to 2-point conversions after the second one is kind of ruined that, and I don't like it. I enjoyed the full, you've got the option of
nothing
a
more
field goal, touchdown and 2-point conversion after 2, that's fine, but just going straight to 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't care for that rule.
Especially because, some of the best games in Arkansas's history has been those. It's the 6 overtime game against Ole Miss in, 2013 or something, when we had Ryan Mallett.
It was 7 overtimes.
Yeah, 6 or 7 overtimes.
And it wasn't
LSU.
Ryan Mallett, it was Matt Jones.
Same thing. They're white quarterback.
It was
Arkansas ain't
awesome.
had too many of them.
It was Eli Manning and Matt Jones.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was Eli Manning. That's a pretty good name.
That's a big name.
Yeah, that's college football royalty right there.
But he wasn't good enough that day.
No, can't be. Not against the Hogs. But
I don't remember the Tennessee quarterback that we went 6 overtimes against. It may have been.
I'll tell you this: it wasn't Nico Iamaleava because he got beat.
What was his name?
In regulation.
It may have been Ainge. Eric Ainge.
I don't know if it's Eric, but I've heard of Ainge.
But I do remember the Kentucky quarterback we went 7 overtimes to, and we beat them too, and that was Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty, R.I.P. He's going on. I don't know what happened to him. I know he passed away, I think, last year maybe. But
I hate to hear that.
He was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the dynamic of him because he was a big. He looked like a
Like a Ben Roethlisberger
large.
type.
No, he looked like he ate Ben Roethlisberger.
Good grief.
And he would look like a large tight end or a small offensive lineman back there playing quarterback.
Josh Heupel?
And he could. Now, he looked more athletic than Josh Heupel looks. But he could sling it. He was left-handed. And to watch the juxtaposition of him versus Matt Jones, who's 6'8" and could run like a gazelle and didn't even look like he just glided down the field. Didn't look like he was running hard. Didn't look like he was even trying, but they could not catch him. And, yeah, so anyways, give me them Hogs.
Hogs. 35-28 double overtime.
Look here, if you're an LSU fan, you're getting to watch highlights of you beating Ole Miss.
Yeah, you're
right
welcome.
Here on the. And I think let's do that every week. You mentioned it, and I said no, but I kind of like that, pulling up all the games and running down them real quick. We kind of want this podcast to be an SEC podcast, something
reach
that
all the fan bases.
Everybody can watch and enjoy, but it's going to be high on them Hogs, but.
Yeah, we go.
But I watch other teams' podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
especially when we're playing somebody.
Yeah,
I watch their coaches' post-game interviews from the week before, in our week.
I want to get a feel of what the team's environment is and how they.
And this is a purely
it.
fan podcast, but I do think we bring some good information. And I've been told that too.
Lots of misinformation, but
There's
we do
bring
information
on there.
We do bring information.
But it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, you don't know what we might tell you. We lost the War of 1812. You never know what's going on over here.
I don't even know what year that was. That war happened in.
I think the Revolutionary War was the War of 1812, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was homeschooled, but
that's your fault, buddy.
That was my wife. She was his teacher. So, all right.
Give me them Hogs, baby. Brought to you by Shelter Insurance,
Dillinger Insurance Agency,
Harrisburg, Arkansas,
licensed in Arkansas,
Tennessee,
Missouri,
all of them.
I mean, we got you home,
auto,
life,
farm,
health, commercial. We
other insurance.
We insure everything.
We'll get you it's not a CD. What is it? We'll get you
yeah. We get you, not a CD, but we get you an annuity.
We'll get you all kinds of annuities.
It'll blow your CD money out of the water.
Out of the water. You get so much money, you won't know what to do with it.
No.
I mean, but yeah, we appreciate the sponsor over there. And listen, if you're here, yeah, he's whatever. I mean, kind of ugly. Don't know how to run a fantasy team. But it'd be all right.
Number one.
Listen, and if you're a business, even if you're a competing insurance agency, we'd like to have you on the podcast. Send us a message, and we'd like to set up some business.
Go out of business.
We'd like to, but seriously, if y'all want to sponsor the podcast, send us an email. We need some money.
We got an email address.
highontahog@gmail.com.
And that's no S, right?
I've got no idea. It's in the YouTube. Hog. You can click on the about. I've got
details
no clue.
In the description.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. Our business email. But yeah, look, we'll make your program, your company look really, really good. I don't care what you do. Just give us some money. We'll get you set up. Guys, give me them Hogs by 90. Thank y'all. God bless.
Jesus saves.